Hello, my fellow investors. Let's start off part two of this series analysis of LL. So we'll start with where we left in the last video. What happened to LL in 2013 and 2014? As you pointed out, the numbers went up pretty nicely, and since then everything started to crash. From the beginning, from 2008 to 2013, everything was going very nice, and then from then everything just went bad. What happened in 2013? We need to understand. And I'm going to play here a video. You can find it on YouTube. It's 60 minutes. They had it. You could just search YouTube. You'll find tons of videos all over. It was all over the news in those days. You can figure out what happened. I'm just going to show some parts of the video to figure out what happened, and just to get a clear picture of what happened and what does it mean for the future of the company.
But when we took those test results to Lumber Liquidators founder and chairman Tom Sullivan, he refused to accept the methodology as valid and points out the company is not required by law to test their finished products like we did.
It's not a real-world test of the laminate. It's not the way it's used.
You say you don't believe in this test, but what you believe doesn't really matter. It's what California Resources Board believes, and they believe in this test.
Yeah, we will do whatever the regulations are.
I just don't understand how a group can do tests on your Chinese-made laminates, and every single one of those failed to meet the emission standard.
I mean, people have different reasons for this test. This is a group of lawyers who are suing us, selling short on our stock.
But it's the short sellers are not conducting the tests. It's these
certified
certified
it started
labs.
with short sellers.
One of the first people to raise questions about Lumber Liquidators back in 2013 was Whitney Tilson, a Wall Street hedge fund manager. He has shorted the company's stock, but is not involved in any lawsuits against it.
In 16 years of professional money management, I've seen hundreds of companies do all sorts of bad things to get their stock prices up, but this has got to be the worst.
Whitney Tilson studies the workings of companies he's interested in investing in, and he noticed the profit margins at Lumber Liquidators seemed unusually high compared to its competitors.
When you see a commodity business, suddenly double its profit margins, that raises red flags.
Because it's...
Let me just stop there a second. That's absolutely crap. Their margins didn't double themselves, but there is a very good point in what he's saying is when you see something in a company going very good, that should be a red flag. Usually when you see a company, when it's something very bad happens, then you say, okay, what happened? But when you see something good, you say, okay, very good, the company's becoming better. But it is a very important lesson over here. When you see something very, very good happening in a company, then you should ask yourself what happened.
It's hard to have your profit margin double in 2 years.
Exactly. It's almost unprecedented for a company.
Based on those profits, Lumber Liquidators' stock price had gone from $13 a share in 2011 to $119 in 2013. Tilson suspected the company might be breaking the law. He learned they were under federal investigation for allegedly buying timber illegally logged in Russia. U.S. agents had raided Lumber Liquidators' headquarters in September 2013. The company denies buying illegally logged wood, but announced just this week the Department of Justice may file criminal charges against them. 6 months after he bet millions the stock would go down, Whitney Tilson got tipped off by someone familiar with Lumber Liquidators' operations in China, who said he was missing the bigger story.
The much bigger story, he said, is that Lumber Liquidators was almost certainly purchasing formaldehyde-tainted laminated flooring in China.
Why would Lumber Liquidators purchase wood that's tainted with formaldehyde?
The answer is greed, plain and simple. It's cheaper, and net, it reduces the costs by about 10%.
Which in a business with these kind of profit margins, 10% means a lot of money.
It's enormous.
Our goal is to sell a good product at a good price, and we don't get the price by skimping on anything. We get the price by low overhead, huge volume, and being very efficient in what we do. We're never going to sell something unsafe.
Do you trust your mills in China?
We do. We have inspectors to double check them. I mean, the mills are licensed by California. The Chinese mills we deal with in the laminates are licensed by California. And
when you say it's licensed by California, what that really means is California says this mill is capable of making CARB 2 compliant product. California is not saying every product coming out of this mill is CARB 2 compliant.
But our specs are to make it to California standards.
But for months, we've been hearing from former Lumber Liquidators employees, suppliers, and industry competitors that their Chinese-made laminates are not being made to California standards. So we sent our investigators undercover to the city of Changzhou, the laminate flooring capital of the world. Posing as buyers and using hidden cameras, the investigators visited 3 different mills that manufacture laminates for lumber liquidators. Employees at the mills openly admitted that they use core boards with higher levels of formaldehyde to make lumber liquidators' laminates, saving the company 10 to 15% on the price. At all 3 mills, they also admitted falsely labeling the company's laminate flooring as Carb 2, meaning it meets California formaldehyde emission standards and the new U.S. federal law. At this factory, the general manager told investigators Lumber Liquidators is one of their biggest customers.
This is the best seller for lumber.
For lumber liquidators?
Yeah, this is
How long have you been selling this?
from last year.
Is this Carb 2?
Carb 2 means it's compliant with California law. But listen to what the general manager told us.
No.
So is
I should be honest with you, not Carb 2.
Okay, can I get this Carb 2?
Yes, you can. Just the price issue. We can make Carb 2, but it will be very expensive.
And that's the same thing the undercover team was told at all 3 mills they visited.
All of this stuff here, lumber liquidators, all their labeling is Carb 2, right?
Yeah.
But it's not Carb 2?
Not Carb 2.
Remember, Lumber Liquidators founder and chairman Tom Sullivan says he trusts the Chinese mills his company uses.
Employees at all 3 mills told us the laminates they make for you are not Carb 2 compliant. I want you to look at this.
We shared some of our hidden camera footage with him.
Is this Carb 2?
No.
So is
I should
it...
be honest with you, not Carb 2.
I don't know the whole situation here. I will guarantee we'll be in that mill tomorrow and test it. And that is not anything we can condone in any way to save a cent.
So this concerns you?
Yeah, of course.
Is this acceptable to you?
If it's true, no.
All 3 mills told us they falsely label your products as Carb 2 compliant. That's cheating.
That would be if that's true.
Nobody's ever reported this to you?
Again, we will investigate it. If there is anything going on, we will stop it immediately. I don't know if it's true or not. I don't know what the whole story is, but we will investigate immediately.
It certainly calls into question not just these mills, but it calls into question your oversight of these mills.
It could, yes.
Okay, I just want to say Tom Sullivan isn't in the company anymore, but I saw a few of his interviews. I don't know if he's corrupt, or if the company's corrupt, or if he made a culture of corruption. They have tons of lawsuits, even in later years. I don't know. My feeling was like, not the smartest person in the room, but even during this interview, why is he doing it without any lawyers? But the biggest story out of this whole thing was the reputation got ruined in 2013 and on. That's the biggest story, and it seems they never got back out of it. Okay, so we understand what happened in 2013. Basically, they had a lawsuit against them that they were selling products that weren't according to what the law in California was. You could look into the whole story. It's all over the internet. You can find it in a second. But basically, in my opinion, what happened was the reputation got ruined. If you go online, you could see people are really, they crap on LL as a really bad company. So I think they never got back from then. The reputation got ruined. I don't think they ever got back from it. They weren't the most efficient company before that, but things just became worse since that. Now I wanna compare LL to an entire industry. Now, this is the U.S. flooring market data, and all this is from it's taken from Flooring Weekly magazine. It's a magazine you can see in LL's 10Ks. All the data from the industry is taken from them. It's all based on Catalina research. So you could see the total U.S. flooring industry and manufacturers. So this is a big thing. It's manufacturer sales. So LL is a retail. Floor & Decor is a retail. Lowe's and Home Depot is all retail. You have these huge production companies like Mohawk and all these companies. They produce the products. They sell it wholesale. So these numbers aren't accurate for LL because these are the manufacturer sales, and we're trying to compare LL, which is retail. But again, we can still use these numbers as indicating what happened to LL versus the entire industry. So total U.S. flooring industry manufactured sales in dollars. So and all these are in the millions. So it's 2011, the total sales of everything. So that includes carpets, ceramics, stones, everything was almost $18 billion. And there's not a lot of growth over here. And 27, of course, COVID, $36 billion. That's when it really hit. People were buying or remodeling their houses. Again, free money. People spend it on things they don't usually spend. And over here is the total U.S. flooring industry manufactured sales in million square feet. So this is not in dollars. This is how many million square feet they sell for a year. Again, $17 million, 17 million square feet, billion. 17 billion, 19 billion, 20 billion, and 28 billion. And here you can see inflation. This is just amazing. In 2011, 17 billion square feet was generating $17 billion in sales. In 2021, 28 billion square feet was generating $36 billion in sales. So that's just inflation, simply put, just like that. And what we care more about is not the entire industry, but the industry of the wooden floors, because LL is only wood. So this is the total U.S. manufactured sales of the floors, the hardwood, minus carpets and stone and all the other things. So this is what we really care about. How much is the manufacturer's entire industry, according to Catalina research, in the past years of only floors? So that'll be hardwood, engineered, laminated, core, everything, all the different kind of floorings, besides carpets, stones, ceramics, and all the other things. So 2011, $5 billion, $6 billion, $6 billion, $7 billion, and in 2021, $14.5 billion. That's in dollars, and in square feet of all, and these are all manufactured sales without labor. So again, we have 4.7 billion square feet, 5 billion feet, 11 billion square feet in 2021. And here's LL's sales. And these numbers aren't actually totally correct, because this is the top line. It's excluding all their labors, installation. It's if you take out only the merchandise, it'll be even lower. But even take out the entire top line of their sales, yeah. So in 2011, it's $681 million, $800 million, $1 billion, $960 million, $1 billion. So again, these numbers are their entire top line, including the installation, which is like $150 million. If you take only their sales of the merchandise, it'll be even lower. And now if you want to compare their LL's sales, how much percentage is it of all their entire U.S. manufactured sales of wooden floors, not stones and ceramics. So again, in 2011, they were 13% of the market, 13%, 50% to 2013. That was a big year. 50%, 2014, 14%, and from there everything just goes down. 12%, 11%, 8%. Again, this 8% is not the right number. It's because it includes their revenue from installation. But even then, we could see since 2013, when it was 50%, it went down by almost 50%. Their percentage of their sales versus the manufactured sales in the entire U.S. industry. Again, these numbers aren't accurate because we're comparing retail sales versus manufacturer sales. But again, the same exact comparison from 2011, we could use the same exact number throughout the next 10 years. We could see how much LL's percentage of the market went drastically down since 2013. So the same inaccurate comparison then is the same inaccurate comparison today. But again, we could see even in this comparison, it went down from 50% to 8%. That's a major blow to LL, and I don't see their reputation becoming better. It just seems like their percentage of sales is just going down versus the industry is going down every year, more and more and more. There's nothing good in this company, as we could see it. There's no symptoms of a turnaround so far. The only thing that happened in the past few years was COVID. Again, that's what I'm saying. In COVID, people waste money. They waste a lot of money. And we're comparing what happened every single year in the net revenue, yeah? Since 2013, that's when they went up. 2015, lost money. 2016, they lost money. 2017, they lost money. 2018, they lost money. 2019, 2020, 2021, they earned money. That was COVID. Again, COVID passed. 2022, went back to losing money. So this is a big question. We don't see any symptoms of a turnaround. But on the other hand, the company is very, very cheap. So this will bring. I'll try to explain my conclusion. I don't have any conclusion about this company, but I'm going back to the business model. I think everything depends on that. I don't see the company doing anything to change their business model. Only slight changes, nothing more than that. Management change in the past years. Tom Sullivan is out of the company. Yeah, okay. The business model is the same business model. And the way it seems to me is that the company is in a, maybe I'll call it a funny pickle. They're trying to be an e-commerce with a small brick and mortar stores, but they're losing both sides of the coin. If people want to buy an e-commerce and they don't care about checking out their products before, then they could just order from China. It'll be cheaper. And if people want to see the products, they'll much more enjoy going to a Lowe's or a Home Depot or Floor & Decor. Floor & Decor is much fancier stores like we saw. And LL is nothing even compared to the consumer experience versus LL. So it's not an e-commerce because they can't compete with the Chinese companies, and they're not a brick and mortar store with a nice consumer experience. So what are they? They're not here and not there. So on the other hand, we can ask ourselves, if that's the case, then why was they so successful from 2008 to 2013? Even before they started doing all their shtick. They were successful, they were earning money. Maybe they were becoming less and less efficient, but they were still earning money. So the same business model, if it's not working today, it worked once. So what happened? Okay, we could say it's maybe not the smartest business model, but it worked once. So why isn't it working today? So maybe the answer is reputation. And their reputation is still very tarnished. And people don't like their products. And it doesn't help them very much that their business model used to work once. Because if they had a high volume, so the same business model could work very good. But once the volume goes down, so it doesn't work. And now, there's something I don't understand. I reached out to the investors relations. I tried to call them up. They didn't answer me. I sent them an email. I didn't get an answer. And this is something that bothers me, is why they're opening up more and more stores the whole time. You can see over here the numbers. Every single year they're opening up more stores, yeah? 330, 393, 413, 419, 410, 424, 442. They're still putting a major emphasis on opening up more stores. Why? They have such a huge social media presence. And they work very much on the on the e-commerce, on the website. I posted on social media on all these flooring blogs. What did they say about Floor & Decor versus LL? I understand the Floor & Decor's e-commerce is nothing even compared to LL. So why are they putting such a strong emphasis on more stores? They're not becoming more efficient in the stores, and they put so much emphasis on their e-commerce. I don't understand them. Why they're doing this. So I don't see the company turning around. We don't have Peter Lynch says you want to buy a turnaround. They don't wait for the symptom. You have to start seeing the turnaround happening. And the last 3 years that they're earning money, I don't think it's anything more than COVID. So the business model, I don't really understand. If they change the business model and try to be like Floor & Decor, then who said they're going to succeed? If they keep the same business model, then they have to do something to become more efficient. They grow their numbers. I don't know what they need to do. So I don't understand what's going to be the turnaround of the company, if there's going to be a turnaround. On one hand, the same business model worked 10 years ago, 12 years ago, and it's not working today. On the other hand, they're not dying totally. They don't have any debt, so that's a very good thing. It's very hard to see them going bankrupt. I mean, they could close stores like nothing. It's weensy little stores of 6,500 square feet and 3 employees. They have no problem closing stores. Without that, this company could go on for years and years. They have a long lifespan to figure it out. I don't know. I'm pretty mixed up about this company. I don't know if it's a good investment or not. It's a classic cigar butt of a Benjamin Graham style. They have no debt. You know, like Walter Schloss says, he doesn't care about he doesn't care about the upside. If you take down all the downside, then officially the upside will come. You know, everything bad in the company already happened. So what could become worse? I don't know. What could become worse? They have to close down a few stores. Okay, so they'll close down a few stores. They have a strong brand. They have a strong e-commerce. They have a strong social media presence. So who cares if they close down 10, 20 stores? They're not generating a lot of revenue, seems to me, from the stores. It's mainly from the entire omni-channel. I don't know. I don't know what to say about this company. It's an interesting prospect. And, well, I'll continue to follow it and see what it's going to be. Thank you very much, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Now, if you like this video, don't forget to smash the like button and to subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much.